of the Middle East Research and Development. Good morning, Dr. Mervat.
Good morning to you, Naveen.
And we start off from Al-Ahram. We read its main banner. The will of the army and the police is enough to defeat terrorism. The president says Egypt shall never forget the sacrifices of the martyrs of the homeland. The utmost vigilant degrees to be taken by the state institutions and increasing the security measures around the vital installations. And holding the funeral of Officer Adel Ragai, commander of the 9th Armored Division. And still with the same issue from Al Gomhuriya newspaper, where we read El-Sisi says, the blood of the martyrs shall not go in vain. In his meeting with Ismail Amer, 5 ministers and the heads of the Egyptian intelligence, El-Sisi says the utmost measures to secure the vital installations to preserve the safety of the citizens, targeting the terrorist hideouts in defense of Egypt and its people. And commander of the 9th Armored Division, Brigadier General Adel Ragai, falls martyr, and the Minister of Defense leads the military funeral of the hero of the armed forces. And still with the same issue from Al-Masri Al-Yom, we read its main banner, terrorism assassinates the commander of the 9th Armored Division. Masked assailants assassination Brigadier General Adel Ragai in front of his house in Al-Abur area. And so-called Brigade of the Revolution claims responsibility. The Minister of Defense leads the military funeral. The President gives his directives regarding increasing the security measures, notably of the vital installations. Dr. Mervat, of course, our condolences. The family of the commander of the
Samia Zain al-Abidin in particular, of course, and
his wife,
to the army and to all the Egyptians.
And to all the Egyptians, of course.
Exactly. Naveen, because call it the Brigade of the Revolution. What revolution? Okay. So, in fact, you can give them whatever names you like, but at the end of the day, they are the brotherhoods, okay? Because you know that the last battles that have been taking place in Sinai for the past 2 weeks have really caused them great losses.
Definitely.
In addition, if we really look closely, whenever we open the Rafah crossing, something very crucial happens, okay? So, in fact, the opening of the crossing, apparently, it led some insurgents...
Infiltration, of course.
And in mind, there was an escape from the prison, the future, called El Mustaqbal.
Right.
Okay? So, these people were of Hamas. And Brigadier, God bless his soul, has been the one who has demolished all the tunnels that are going from Sinai into Gaza.
Right.
So, in addition, of course, to always this enthusiasm and nationalistic, behavior on part of Samia Zain al-Abidin has been really bothering them to a very great extent. And targeting Brigadier Adel Ragai definitely will have a very strong repercussion. He's not anybody. He has his wife, fighting terrorism and fighting the brotherhoods, and he himself, took part in what we call combating terrorism in the Sinai Peninsula. So it will make a great repercussion when you target somebody big in himself, as well as having a wife like Samia Zain al-Abidin. Definitely. I call it a target that has been very well studied. It must have been going for ages. And mind you, Naveen, if you remember, we said on this program, until the 7th of November, okay, nothing will really be silent as it was before.
Right.
Okay, these, whoever they were, and I don't believe they are a brigade to start with, okay? Right. It's just, trying to say, I'm still alive. I'm still having an impact on Egypt in one way or another, and a negative one. Because you heard that the Russians are resuming their flights to Egypt. You heard that the Brits are studying to resume their flights to Egypt. So, you know, they thought to themselves, oh, they are going to revive their economy? No, I have to prove to the outside world and to my financiers that I'm still alive. Okay? I don't believe that they are capable of really causing harm anywhere. And no matter what they do, would that make the Egyptians and the president back off? No, we are used to them. We are used
Throughout
since
history.
Exactly.
Throughout history.
You're perfectly right. Throughout history, we are used to them and to their what I call mean and disgusting attacks. And I'm telling them, no matter what they do, the Egyptians will never ever give their dreams up for them.
Definitely. And how do you see the significance of increasing the security measures, especially around vital installations?
Not just vital installations, but, you know, killing somebody in this fashion, as Brigadier Aidel Ragai has been killed, has been repeated 1 time, 3 times. We should learn where is the leakage, that's number 1. How did these prisoners escape?
Investigations, more
if you remember
investigations
Mohammed Mabrouk, when he was assassinated, it turned out to be that look, I admire what Abdel Ghaffar is doing, our interior minister. But there is somehow, you remember Morsi made some people who were expelled from the police, he let them come back. I want them to investigate those people because I believe that deep down, of course, they are indebted to whom? To the brotherhoods. So I'm not saying that it is a phenomena. No, it is not a phenomena. Because you and I now can go out, can enjoy themselves, while we couldn't have done that in the past. Okay, so let us really let such an action doesn't take anything of our will to do something. Okay.
Right, and back to Al Ahram, we read the UN High Commissioner of Refugees says the political stability in Egypt made it a destination for the refugees. The Minister of Interior receives the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, and Grandi says Egypt exerted great efforts to host refugees, and the political stability helped in that. And still with the same issue from El Gomhouria front page, we read the UN High Commissioner for Refugees praises Egypt's treatment of the refugees, and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, stresses on the keenness to achieve this. Dr. see the situation of the refugees in general?
Well, the refugees in general, everywhere, their situation is very grave. They are very badly treated, and they are regarded, you know, as insurgents in one way or another, or like parasites in other societies, especially in Europe. They are, for them, they are isolated, they are put in tents for some time until they are incorporated to the other refugees. Mostly they are Syrians and Iraqis and Libyans and I don't know. You know, their situation is really very grave. And I believe that Egypt has been very generous, as usual. We haven't asked for support, as did Erdogan. Okay?
Yes.
He asked for $5 or $6 billion. We are, heavily indebted.
Indebted, right.
Okay? And we
And we didn't ask for support.
We are asking for loans. okay? But we did not ask for support. Look, the Egyptians are always a homeland for anybody and everybody. And whoever is really, you know, having no security or no safety in his country, he used to come to us. And
Yes,
we used
definitely.
to incorporate him into our society with love and welcoming. We, on the contrary, you see in Syrians now opening shops and earning their living, you know, as if they are
They're living
Egyptians.
as part of the Egyptians.
Exactly. And
right.
they are
They're
enjoying
taking a lot
going
of
to
rights.
schools, you know, and they are even supported by the UN in terms of financial aid to them. In addition, we as Egyptians accepted them. Okay, we believe that we have been saved one day.
Not
from
only
the,
Syrians, also
facing the
there
same
are other
destiny,
nationalities. We have
the same
Yemenis here and
destiny.
Libyans and
You have Sudanese, you have
Iraqis.
Yemenis, you have Iraqis, you have Libyans, you have people coming from Africa because
a lot of Africans.
Exactly,
We have a lot of Africans
exactly. Look,
living here, actually.
those who have been hunted in their own country, they found here a homeland. This
Right.
is Egypt, Niveen. It will never change. Okay, it's what I call a paradise to everybody.
Definitely.
Okay, though we are in need of a cent or a penny, but we are always gracious. We are always
We
kind,
have our dignity,
generous,
and at the same time
we
keeping our
respect
dignity.
the dignity of the others as well. We respect our own, and definitely we respect theirs, because it's not their problem, really. They haven't created the problem. It's the West again who did that to them. Whatever this part of the world is suffering is a result of what I call greed on part of the US and its allies, whoever they may be.
Right, and back to Al Ahram front page, we read in the first final verdict, the cassation confirms the imprisonment for 20 years of Morsi in the Ittihadiyya case. The Court of Cassation confirms 20-year prison sentence against deposed Mohamed Morsi on charges related to the killing of peaceful protesters during demonstrations in 2012. The court's ruling is final and cannot be challenged before any other court. And still with the same issue, and from Al Jumhuriyya, we read, in the case of Ittihadiyya events, the cassation court confirms 20 years in hard labor of Morsi, El Aryan, El Biltagi, and El Sheikha. The Egyptian court confirmed a 20-year prison sentence against deposed Mohamed Morsi on Saturday. The sentence was for a conviction arising from the killings of peaceful protesters during demonstrations in 2012. It is the first of Morsi's 4 convictions to reach the end of the judicial process, and he cannot appeal further against it. 20-year jail sentence were also confirmed against other senior figures from the Brotherhood terrorist organization, including Mohamed el-Biltagi and Assam el-Aryan. The defendants were convicted in April 2015 on charges including kidnapping, torture, and the killings of peaceful protesters during unrest in 2012. Dr. Mervat, how do you follow the trials of the MPs?
Look, it is high time. We have been waiting, and I'm sure people, the family of Hussein Abu Diyaf, who was killed during this, which they labeled raiding the Ittihadiyya, which has not happened actually. They raided the peaceful protesters. They have to be called peaceful protesters. But the way they raided them and killing many others, by the way, we only know Hussein Abu Diyaf. We only know Mina, who was really brutally beaten by the Brotherhoods. And the way he even forgot his name, for heaven's sake. This gives you, and when they asked him, what's your name? He said,
you couldn't remember his name.
I can't remember my name. Okay, so to that violence, to this inhumane treatment of people, of killing and even calling us you rotten, you eat Nesto. We've lived on Nesto back in the 60s and the 70s, and we didn't rotten. We are very much alive here, okay? And we're gonna fight them. This will not really put us, put us down. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has been always stressing that fighting terrorists needs what? Needs patience, needs endurance, and the army, the police, the judges, okay, and I hope and pray also the parliament. And we, as Egyptians, we are standing in the face of terrorists. We are not scared, and such stuff will not scare us. Okay?
Definitely.
Because, look, Naveen, Egyptians have not had an easy life, especially in the past 60 years, okay, since the revolution, actually, of 1952. So, we are used to a harsh life. We are used to a deprived life. So it's okay with us.
Right, Dr. Mervat Madkour, Professor of Political Economy of the Middle East Research and Development. Many thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
And dear viewers, with this we come to the end of the Daily Press Review. Stay tuned, we'll be back to resume the rest of the segments of the Breakfast Show.